Okay, so for our deep dive today, we're looking at something that, on the surface, seems pretty dry. It's a product page for the Blustream IP510UHD-TZ transceiver.
It does, yeah, just a list of specs.
But our mission here is to really break this down because this one piece of hardware, it really represents a huge shift in how high-end video gets distributed.
It absolutely does, and right away you see it establishes itself as an SDVoE compliant solution. So that's software-defined video over Ethernet.
Right.
And that's the core idea here. You're moving this incredibly complex, high-fidelity video onto a managed 10 gigabit network. Copper, fiber, doesn't matter.
And the central promise they make is, well, uncompromised 4K video. We're talking 4K 60 hertz, 4.4.4 with visually lossless compression.
And crucially, zero latency. That's the part you just can't ignore.
Okay, so let's dig into that. Zero latency. Why is that the non-negotiable benchmark? I mean, what kind of installation just completely fails if there's even a tiny delay?
Well, think about command and control centers, maybe military or medical, or live events. Any situation where the video on screen has to be perfectly in sync with the real world.
I see.
For any professional 18 Gbps HDMI installation, things that need HDMI 2.0 for HDR content, that signal integrity and lack of delay is mandatory. It's the difference between a system that works and one that's just a confusing mess.
So it handles that high color depth video, the 10 or 12-bit stuff,
Right.
without an issue. But what about the sound? How does this IP architecture handle the huge bandwidth needed for, say, immersive audio?
That's the fascinating part. There's really no trade-off. It supports, and I mean every known HDMI audio format.
Yeah, every single one.
Yeah. If you need Dolby Atmos, Dolby True HD, DTS to HD Master Audio, it just pipes it all across the network right alongside the video. The entire system just acts like one giant perfect digital wire.
Which brings us to system building, right? Because you don't just use one of these.
Exactly. You're not just doing a point-to-point connection. You combine multiple transceivers with standard 10 GBE switches, and suddenly you have this massive, scalable ecosystem.
So you're moving away from a traditional fixed matrix switch.
Precisely. You get a software-defined system that can be a distributed video matrix, a multi-viewer, a really complex video wall, and the onboard video scaling and seamless switching lets you change sources instantly, no matter how big the system is.
All right, let's switch gears a little to the operational side, because in any professional system, you need to route a lot more than just media. You need control.
Yeah, that's where the unification of all these signals comes in.
Yeah.
Beyond the audio and video, this device routes IR, RS-232, and CEC consumer electronics control.
And having CEC integrated is a pretty big deal.
Oh, it's huge.
Right.
It means you can use a single remote at a display, for example, and send commands over the network all the way back to the source. It really ties the whole infrastructure together.
But for, let's say, logistics or secure facilities, I'd argue the KVM feature is maybe the most important piece of this puzzle. Keyboard, video, and mouse.
Absolutely. It lets you completely separate the computer hardware from where the person is actually working. You can have critical servers locked away in a secure, climate-controlled room somewhere else entirely.
Miles away. Yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Yeah.
The system uses USB 1.1 pass-through. You've got a USB-B port for the host connection and two USB-A ports at the user end for the keyboard and mouse. The network itself becomes your KVM extension cable.
And really quickly, on the physical side, the power seems flexible too. It supports PoE plus T.
Right, power over Ethernet. So you can power it straight from a compatible network switch, which really simplifies the wiring on an install.
But you're not locked into that.
No, that's smart.
Yeah.
They include a local 12-volt power supply in the box. So if your switch doesn't do PoE plus E, you're not stuck. And it also has an analog audio breakout on a Phoenix connector for, injecting local audio or feeding a local PA system.
So bringing this all together, what does this mean for you, the person listening? This Blustream transceiver really confirms a major trend. The highest fidelity professional AV systems are moving completely onto standard 10 gigabit IP networks.
And they managed to do it without compromising on those really intense performance demands, like that 4K 60, 4.4.4, and zero latency.
That's the real achievement.
Yeah. And here's the final sort of provocative thought for you to take away. Think about the name. Transceiver. It's not a transmitter or a receiver, it's both.
One box that can do either job.
Exactly. Imagine designing a massive system where any node, any single one of these boxes can be configured on the fly to send a source or display a signal. That dynamic adaptability, that's what makes this kind of enterprise AV truly modular and future-proof.